The following presentation is a teaching by Avraham Emunah. How is spiritual salvation obtained in the Torah? Christianity has a strong emphasis on the idea of getting saved or obtaining salvation, but what about that concept in Torah and Kabbalah? Stick with me through the end of this video and you'll learn how a Torah-minded person sees salvation. Throughout the centuries, the search for God and spiritual attainment or salvation has driven countless seekers on a journey for meaning and divine connection in the Jewish mystical tradition, particularly through the wisdom of Kabbalah and Torah Lishma, Torah study for its own sake. Profound teachings guide those who desire to encounter the divine and achieve what is known as devikut, or clinging to God. A towering figure in this tradition is Rabbi Yehuda Ashlag, known as the Baal HaSulam, meaning Master of the Ladder. In this video, we will explore the teachings that I've acquired through the study of this Jewish sage, who illuminated how a person can truly find God and attain spiritual development by laboring in Torah and Kabbalah. By internalizing these teachings and committing to a life of spiritual refinement, one can ultimately perceive the face of God, comprehend divine providence, and achieve spiritual attainment. Let's start with Torah Lishma. What is it exactly? Torah Lishma is a core principle in both the Talmudic and Kabbalistic traditions. It refers to studying Torah not for external reward, status, or intellectual gain, but purely for the purpose of spiritual transformation and connecting with the divine, pleasing the Creator. It emphasizes that true spiritual attainment begins with this selfless approach to Torah study. Without such pure intentions, spiritual progress would be hindered by egoism and material desires. Another way of looking at it is the opposite of Torah Lishma, which is studying Torah only for the sake of personal gain. In Kabbalah, we see that the purpose of creation is for human beings to achieve similarity to God's qualities, particularly attributes of giving and loving kindness. This is called equivalence of form. To do so, one must gradually transform their inherent desire to receive, which defines human nature, into a desire to give. Torah Lishma becomes the vehicle through which this transformation occurs. In laboring over the Torah, or the Hebrew scriptures in general, meditating on its hidden meanings and applying its ethical teachings to life, the seeker undergoes an internal correction of their character. In view of this, we see that Torah Lishma is inseparable from the path of Kabbalah. Kabbalistic study is essential because it reveals the deeper spiritual structures of the universe, the Sephirot, the worlds, divine illumination, and the dynamics of divine providence. Those who seek God cannot rely solely on the surface meanings of the Torah, but must engage with these esoteric layers in order to truly understand the Creator's will. The wisdom of Kabbalah has an essential role in finding God. Kabbalah provides a comprehensive map of reality that describes how the divine light emanates from the Creator and filters through various spiritual dimensions until it reaches our world. This system is not merely theoretical, but is meant to be experienced directly through spiritual work. We must keep in mind that Kabbalah is not just about acquiring esoteric knowledge, but about aligning oneself with the divine qualities and God's will. In Rabbi Ashlag's monumental work, the Talmud Eser Sefirot, which means the study of the 10 Sefirot, he outlines the spiritual laws governing creation. In this text, Ashlag explains that the spiritual worlds are structured in such a way that they conceal and reveal God's presence. The seeker's task is to pierce through these layers of concealment by cultivating altruism and purifying their intentions. Another important aspect to the path of Kabbalah is understanding divine providence. In Kabbalistic terminology, to see the face of God means to achieve a clear perception of divine providence. We often see that God's actions seem hidden, or contradictory. A person may experience suffering, challenges, and apparent injustices, leading them to question whether a benevolent creator truly guides their life. However, through spiritual development, one comes to understand that these trials are necessary for growth and ultimately stem from divine love. One begins to understand divine providence and thus begins to see the face of God. This process of understanding providence is called the attainment of double concealment, followed by single concealment and eventually revelation. In double concealment, a person is completely unaware of God's presence. In single concealment, they begin to sense that there may be a hidden hand guiding events, though it remains obscured. Finally, in revelation, the seeker perceives how all events, even painful ones, are part of a divine plan to bring them closer to God. Now, the ultimate goal of Torah study and Kabbalistic practice is to achieve devakut, or clinging to God. This state is characterized by a profound sense of unity with the divine will. It does not mean that one loses their individuality, but rather that their desires and intentions become aligned with those of the Creator. Devakut is achieved through a process of continuous inner work, known as Avodat Hashem, or service of God. This work involves introspection, prayer, and ethical refinement. The seeker must identify and overcome their egoistic tendencies, replacing them with qualities of love, compassion, and humility. As one progresses, they begin to experience divine light more intensely, leading to a sense of boundless joy and purpose. With all of this, there is the huge importance of consistency in spiritual work. Toiling in the Torah requires much effort. Spiritual complacency is not good, and seekers need to maintain regular study and meditation practices. The path of Kabbalah is a constant way of life. Spiritual attainment is not a one-time event, but a dynamic process that requires ongoing commitment. Each level of attainment reveals new challenges and opportunities for growth, ensuring that the seeker remains engaged in their journey toward God. In Christianity, the idea of acquiring spiritual attainment, or so-called salvation, is as easy as saying some sort of magical prayer and placing your faith in another person, namely Jesus Christ. And that person somehow did all the spiritual work on your behalf and then gives you attainment as a free gift. But in the path of Kabbalah, spiritual attainment is a way of life, something you toil in every day for not only a lifetime, but perhaps even many lifetimes. But that's a discussion for another video. For now, I will just end with saying that the journey to find God and achieve spiritual attainment, or salvation, is a lifelong endeavor that requires dedication, humility, and a willingness to transform one's inner world. Through the wisdom of Kabbalah and the practice of Torah Lishma, seekers can attain a deeper understanding of divine providence and ultimately achieve devakut, or oneness with God. My hope is that we all obtain the merit needed to receive the teachings of Kabbalah through the practice of Torah Lishma and discover the roadmap for such a great spiritual quest, guiding us toward a life of unity with Hashem the Creator. Blessed be His name. Thank you for watching. This has been a presentation of Avraham Eminer. The views expressed here are mine alone and are not meant to be an authoritative representation of any one religious tradition.